So a couple things we talked about is just getting better at applying leverage to the ball. You have all the speed, but you don't always have the leverage, and that's what we saw today. When you had all this, when you got the leverage with the speed that you have, and the ball went much further. When a tour player goes to the ball, their hands are very quiet. You see over here, these two golfers, Colin and their hands are, there's a lot going on. The main thing here is the front hand would go to flexion, and this will be an extension and flexion. This creates shaftling, which is compression, the divot naturally after the ball. When you're at your worst, this is a poor hit here. You'll see you'll hit the ground before the ball, right somewhere back there. And then the hands are the clubs now, and you're in flexion here and an extension here. And we know that's happening at the bottom. And part of this is you're having to save your energy. So when his shoulder goes over here and tries to get speed to the shot, your hands are trying to chase in a rotation, and they just can't catch up, and they flip. So everything we did is to kind of work on changing that energy pattern. And it started from how we started the club away in your swing. Let's go on to a little bit more. To get to that feeling, tour players, we're playing this drill, we're hitting the bag. My front arm here is across my chest. Two things are happening here. I want my arm at my elbow, which my sleeve of my shirt will stay with my core. My arm below my elbow will be free to swing the club like I'm throwing a ball. At the main time, I'm going to make sure that I'm always in flexion at impact and never in extension. So to get to that bag, I can't move. If I move from my shoulders first, I'm going to flip. So I'm going to move from the lower half and the ground and my core. So your core muscles, your legs pushing, and your arms swinging. Now that allows you to get power in your swing. Now the key in your swing, when you're twisted away in your backswing, when your hip right here, you'll see your hip twist with your shoulder. That pulls your weight behind you. So what happens is your only way to get energy is you twist back. Now these shoulders in these twisting hips mode, and you can't really get power to the ball. So there's the flip. And because of that, it could hit the hosel and all these different places in the club. So we go back to me and Roy hitting the bag here. You can see we're just applying leverage from the ground up. And then speed is a relative thing. He can get more speed in doing this than I can, so he's going to hit it further. We go to Jon Rahm, and again, he's going to apply leverage the same way. So that's what that drill is trying to get, and we'll see it in the chipping here in a second. Now we're going into the stretch. In the backswing, we watch Jon Rahm swing back. You're going to see that his hips don't really move, and he's stretching. Now, this is not what I recommend for your backswing, but the point is he is not trying to turn. He is trying to create resistance this way and resistance that way, which creates a big spring of energy right in his core and his legs, top of his thighs. So like a spring, once he just pushes that weight pushes, and then he can now put himself in position to apply the leverage to the bag. Now your swing is a rotational swing. It has no that leverage that we just saw, and because it spins back and it spins through, and then you're dragging the hands in late. So everything we did to improve on that. So let's look at some different swings here. Well, before I do that, so the chipping drill, again, this is me 3 times doing this, so I'm hitting with my hand. You have a tendency to move your shoulder too much in the drill. This first one up here, you're moving from your shoulders. You did pretty good with the hand, not flipping, but the shoulders came up, and you got to feel like you're hitting with your core muscles, and you're hugging your arm and just keeping that arm and hitting with that lower half feeling. And you can see with 2 hands on it looks the same. And then the bag is just me playing leverage. You see below the club is just being compressed off the face. So those are my simple, that's the same thing here. Drill-wise, again, the big drill is for you to just turn a club upside down. If you don't have an impact bag, you can just put a pillow or something down. You don't have to hit it hard, but you do need to feel that leveraging feeling. And this is with me with the golf club. Same feeling, just with 2 hands. Now the golf club, once we get the hit, we just release energy like a slingshot. We're just going to let the club go flying by us, and that brings us up to the finish. Again, we're going to feel this elbow in. So the key thing I wanted you to feel, let's go back to the drill. This elbow is feel like it's leading to the ball. This one here. And this forearm, you feel like your forearm is playing pressure right there, not in your wrist. You were trying to hold your wrist back when it flipped, and we don't want to ever do that. We just want to make sure the wrist does it naturally how we're moving, but never feel like you're trying to restrict to hold that angle. You're trying to hit with this from this lower half and feel like you're compressing, but don't hold that wrist angle. So we do need that club to release through. Now we'll go back to some drills we did. So this is just swinging the orange thing. And the main thing I wanted you to do on this is feel that your thighs and knees were facing the target as long as you can. Feel the energy that way and not twist. So you start feeling more resistant. It feels like you're doing a smaller swing this happened. And what happens is this compacts your backswing. Even though it looks like you're doing a small swing, you can still see you're making the same shoulder turn. And as you go back and hit the ball, now you can apply leverage that back. So there's the hit. And that's where we get the shaft leaning like this. And this arm is still bent underneath us instead of the flip. A flip over, and now we're hitting with that leverage feeling. So that's what it feels like. The elbow will still be bent and impact for you, and then it releases afterwards. So that's just, in this drill, I just wanted you to feel resist. So our real key was resist here. Okay, and feel like you're hitting the bag with that feeling being bent and leverage, and then you can let it go through. That was really what we evolved to, and that tightens up your swing, becomes much more compact and much more efficient. This has just got some disconnect and all the things trying to catch up.